So let's talk about this Roe v. Wade, shall we? Woo! Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Sam B right here with the Tune Up Show. So check it out, right? So this whole week in politics took a real random, unannounced turn. Brought up something that happened well over a half a century ago, right? What are we talking about here? Talking about Roe v. Wade. Now, this particular case, which most likely anybody that's under, I would say, probably 60, has no idea what this case was all about. We hear, I think, Hillary Clinton, she used this as her catapult during the 2016 presidential election campaign, her campaign, and how she was all for women's rights and how Jane Roe, because that's the woman's name. Most women don't even know the first name of the woman that started all this, let alone the whole story. So, this is what we're going to do. Because, see, this is the Tune Up Show. And when you're dealing with a story as big as this is, you got to do your due diligence, right? You got to do your due diligence. So let's take it up a notch. Now, if you don't know who this woman is, well, this is the actual Roe baby. All right? Norma McCorvey. All right? This was it. This whole thing by Atlantic. This is the baby that was so-called aborted in 1969. The Roe baby. So the woman Jane Roe, she never had the abortion. So let's read on. The Roe baby. Norma McDorvey, the plaintiff in Roe v. Wade, never had the abortion. I'm sorry. So Norma McCorvey was the actual woman's name. Jane Roe. Yeah, that's what it is. That was just that was just a way to keep her identity secret. So she says she gave her baby girl up for adoption, and now that baby is an adult. After decades of keeping her identity a secret, Jane Roe's child has chosen to talk about her life. So let's dig into this, because, like I said, this might be a long one. Because, see, this Roe v. Wade thing has already been a sham. It's already been proven to be a sham. And I'm going to get into some speculation on how this may be all planned out. Like I said, I'm not a politician. Well, I've said this in many of my videos. I'm not a politician. So this right here may very well be a ploy by the Democrats and or by the Republicans to just start up more havoc, keep wreaking more havoc. Because we all know the primaries is on its way up. This is, like I said, look, something like this is going to keep happening. I said this many a times. So let's read on. Nearly half a century ago, Roe v. Wade secured a woman's legal right to obtain an abortion. The ruling has been contested with ever-increasing intensity, dividing and reshaping American politics, and yet, for all its prominence, the person most profoundly connected to it has remained unknown. The child whose conception occasioned the lawsuit, Roe's pseudonymous plaintiff, Jane Roe, was a Dallas waitress named Norma McCorvey. Wishing to terminate her pregnancy, She filed suit in March 1970 against Dallas County District Attorney Henry Wade, challenging the Texas laws that prohibited abortion. Norma won her case, but she never had the abortion. On January 22nd, 1973, when the Supreme Court finally handed down its decision, she had long since given birth and relinquished her child for adoption. The court's decision alluded only obliquely to the existence of Norma's baby. In his majority opinion, Justice Harry Blackmun noted that a pregnancy will come to term before the usual appellate process is complete. The pro-life community saw the unknown child as the living incarnation of its argument against abortion. It came to refer to the child as the Roe baby. Of course, the child had a real name too. And as I discovered while writing a book about Roe, the child's identity had been known to just one person, an attorney in Dallas named Henry McCluskey. McCluskey had introduced Norma to the attorney who initially filed the Roe lawsuit and who had been seeking a plaintiff. He had then handled the adoption of Norma's child, but several months after Roe was decided, in a tragedy unrelated to the case, McCluskey was murdered. There you go. Another, wow, look at that. This guy was murdered right before the doggone trial. Good Lord. Norma's personal life was complex. She had casual affairs with men, which meaning she was promiscuous, and one brief marriage at age 16. Okay, so there you go. She got around. She bore 3 children, each of them placed for adoption, but she slept far more often with women and worked in lesbian bars. Now, here they go, reaching a narrative, right? So, months after filing Roe, Norma met a woman named Connie Gonzalez, almost 17 years her senior, and moved into her home. The woman painted and cleaned apartments in a pair of buildings in South Dallas. A decade later, in 1981, Norma briefly volunteered for the National Organization for Women in Dallas. Thereafter, slowly she became an activist, working at first with pro-choice groups, and then after becoming a born-again Christian in 1995, with pro-life groups. Being born again did not give her peace. Pro-life leaders demanded that she publicly renounce her homosexuality, which she did at great personal cost. Norma could be salty and fun, but she was also self-absorbed and dishonest, and she remained until her death in 2017. Now, I'm not going to read any more of that. So just by reading, now that's from the Atlantic. It's this was, wow, look at that. This was back in 2021. So a lot of times, so the public knew about this. Most people already knew about this, but the only reason why this is coming to light is because the whole thing, Roe v. Wade, that politicians like, mostly Democratic politicians like Hillary Clinton use this as a catapult. Now, this woman never got an abortion. Okay? So that means that this whole Roe v. Wade thing should just be overturned because it was based off of lies. That's what it was based off. It was based off of lies and deceit. And not to mention, it was man, they used this, the Democratic Party used this as a catapult to basically win votes. All right? Now, I want to get into some more stuff. During the whole Roe v. Wade thing, this happened in LA. Rioters in LA, smashing, crashing, doing everything. Let's take a look at this video. Pro baby killers, and this is from InfoWars, so of course they're going to have, their own headliners. But hey, I already did a video. I already did a video already. If they could charge that man that killed that pregnant woman in Philadelphia, my hometown, and they can charge him with 2 murders, then that means that they know that abortion is murder too. Right? So you can't get mad. And look, I know I'm gonna hear this. You know, I'm gonna say this real fast since I'm on the subject. I'll get back to the video. But I'm gonna say this real fast. I know that rape happens, incest happens. I get it. Rape is no joke. Okay? And I, for one, I will help put that man in the electric chair. I will personally lethally inject a man that feels as though he can brutally rape and force himself on a woman. That's not going to fly. Okay? But see, what we're dealing with here, we're dealing with a narrative right now that has spun completely out of control right now. Okay? Now we're putting, and this is not my words, these are the words of these aggressive feminists, okay, that say sexual harassment is on the same level as rape. Are you kidding me? Have you lost your damn mind? How the hell is someone just cat whistling to you on the same level as being brutally raped? How is that even on the same level? But see, this is what they want to talk about. This is how they get their votes. Okay? So like I said, rape is no laughing matter when it happens to a woman or when it happens to a man. And yes, men get raped as well. Not too long ago in Philadelphia, there was a man going around, a homosexual man running around, drugging unsuspected men and raping them. Okay? This was last year. Okay? So men get raped as well. But it doesn't happen to the point where you feel as though like, oh, well, that's why we need abortions. No, because let me tell you something. Not all these abortions are from incest and rape. If we're being honest here, but you let a lot of these politicians tell it, you know, there's a woman out here getting raped every 7 seconds. And if that was the case, you wouldn't have any real relationships out here. You wouldn't have any real marriages out here. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life. For someone to say that a woman is getting raped every 7 seconds. That's the most ridiculous shit I ever heard in my life. Excuse my language. Because it's not happening. It's not. And they know it. And I'm sick of the hypocrisy. I'm going to go ahead back to the screen right here. And let's see what happens. These are people. I'm going to play it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am firing the bat signal. InfoWars needs your financial support now.
It's from InfoWars. So InfoWars, they let me, they let people. And see no, and see that right there.
And now they have done it. They have stacked the Supreme Court with ultra right.
I wish everyone saw that. I'm gonna rewind this back because these are the women that are doing all this nut stuff. This is nutty. This is the most nuttiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, you know what? Them women have lost their goddamn minds. And you know, I'm not saying that in a derogatory sense either. Okay? I'm saying that in a literal sense. Because God damns these minds. These women, they have seared consciences. Consciousness. Okay? They have a seared conscience. That means that You can't tell these women anything. They're out there doing what they want to do. And if you want to truly be honest, okay? You want to truly be honest? I mean, look at them. You really think these women are having active sexual relationships with men? What man is really laying down with these women? Let me tell you something. You need to have an active sexual relationship with a man to have an abortion in the first place. Okay? These women don't seem all there mentally to just be in the middle of some park screaming at the top of their lungs. Look at that. Primal Scream Station. See, this is what these people do. When they're not getting their way, they scream, they kick, they holler, and they smash things. Okay? This is no way for human beings to be acting. And we're supposedly the most intelligent species walking around on Earth, but yet we resort to stuff like this. These women aren't in relationships. These women hate men. And the only reason why they would even lay down with a man is just to do this. Exactly what they're doing. I'm exercising my right to do this abortion. So if you don't want babies, why are you having sex unprotected? There's birth control. There's condoms, right? No, you got like this Black Widow, female praying mantis mentality going on, where a lot of these women got a goddess complex to where they feel like they can give life and they can take it away in the same breath. Okay, but I'm gonna let this continue on. I'm gonna let this continue on because that's sick. That's sick.
And now they have done it. They have stacked the Supreme Court with ultra right-wing judges who are all committed to this plan of overturning our abortion rights. And when women's rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
And did you see that sign? Rewind it backward. Now, how the hell does abortion save lives? How? Well, whose life is it saving? Oh, the mothers? A healthy woman. An abortion can save the life of a healthy woman. See, normally, naturally, when a female's body is not ready to give birth, naturally, that baby, the body will just abort the baby itself. That's what it's called, a miscarriage. Okay? That's what that's called. But when you willfully go in and say, and you make the conscious decision as a woman and say, well, I don't want this baby. Give me the abortion pill. When you do that, you're making a conscious decision to extinguish a life that never had a chance. Okay? That's like a UFC fighter beating up a 3-year-old. A 3-year-old never had a chance. But see, it's all about women's rights though, right? Because see, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to let this play out a little bit. You can find this on InfoWars. Okay? I'm going to let this play out.
And so I want to ask you today, where have our so-called
There goes Antifa. There goes Antifa. There goes your antagonizers. See, this is the stuff that they don't want you to see. And, you know, I'm pretty sure YouTube, they're going to try their best to shadow ban this. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not worried about it anymore. The truth's got to get out either way. So let's continue. And as you can see, that's antagonizing. He is an officer of the law, right? So he has every right to start whooping this guy's ass. Because he already done touched him 3 times. I'm sorry. I couldn't be a cop. But you know what? That's all I'm going to show for right now. I just want to show the degeneracy of this, you know, of what's going on here. Okay? And that was in LA. All right? I got a few more. Cause see, we already went over the whole thing of Roe v. Wade was a sham to begin with. Okay? The baby that was so-called aborted is still alive. So they can't even stand on that catapult anymore, that political bungee jump. They can't even sustain it anymore. It's done. Okay? You can't even use it anymore. The baby is now an adult. All right? Let me show you one more. This was at this is Georgia. Let's check it out.
Some really passionate debate in this morning. We are still seeing that after a historic leaked Supreme Court decision that would overturn Roe v. Wade. Thousands of
Now,
people
hold on.
turn Roe v. Wade. Historic leaked.
Now, you see this woman right here in this red right here? Now, this is an outfit that she's wearing from a show called The Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but it's a show about in the not too distant future where religious fanatics, which are, you know, they're posing them off as Christians, quote unquote, they somehow, there was like a virus or something happened, and only the elite men were able to, it was certain men that were able to give off offspring, you know, to impregnate women. And she's wearing an outfit of one of the women that were pretty much forced into that lifestyle, being a breeder. Okay? Now, that's what that show is about. And she's wearing that outfit. And like I said, this is only going to come back hard on the Christian community, forcing women to do things that they so-called don't want to do. But let me tell you something. The only person that's forcing anything is that you're forcing yourself to go against your own nature. Because I've said it before in my videos, any woman that doesn't fully embrace their womanhood and trying to be a wife or a mother, a wife to a man, if anything, and creating nuclear families, I really ask, what are you really doing in life? You know, and the whole thing, oh, I'm a career girl. Like, well, okay, that's fine too. But when you turn 45, 50, 60 years old, what do you got left? Because after a while, I mean, you're going to retire, right? What, do you think a man's going to want you at 50, 60 years old? Somebody's going to want me. Well, whatever. But, you know, that's another video. We'll get back to this.
The decision that would overturn Roe v. Wade.
Thousands of people on Tuesday marched, demonstrating, some of the largest groups we've seen since the summer of 2020. Many of them demanding legal protections for abortion, saying it's a deeply personal issue, where rape victims who shared their stories talked from their experiences.
Immediately, like, my heart dropped into my stomach. I've been assaulted and had to have an abortion, and it means a lot to me. And the fact that the government would try to tell us what to do with our bodies.
Well, whatever happened to that young lady, I do feel for her. I don't think she was a crisis actor at all. You can obviously see the pain on her face. If she was assaulted, if she was raped, a man forced himself on her, then that man will receive judgment in his time. But here's the thing, to women like her, that felt as though they had to get those abortions. I'm for free will, but I'm also pro-life. And the problem is within this society is that we are always looking for equal opportunity and equal outcome. No, it just doesn't work like that. It's so much, and I've done plenty of videos on this too, especially when it comes to women and thinking that the government or men are trying to, control them. No, it's not. The average man is not looking to control any woman. The average man is actually looking to be with a wife, to have a family, if that's in his mindset. The only guys out here that are actually out here just, making babies, making love babies, quote unquote, these are the guys that women need to stay away from. But see, these are the women, these are the men that these women flock to in droves. Okay, you could just do the math. Okay, it's already on record that there's a majority of women out there, they rather be they rather be whores, sugar babies to 20% of men than wives, and than wives to 80% of men. And see, that's why they're doing this, because see now, this whole Roe v. Wade thing, this is going to be to the point where, I can't abort my love child. I can't abort the baby that I've had with this guy, but I'm actually married to this guy. If anything, promiscuity is going to take a plunge. And women will have to most likely be forced to be, loyal, and I don't have a problem with that, because see, the jig is up. The game is over. And the reason why Roe v. Wade is being overturned, because it never happened. It was put together under false pretenses. It was put together under the notion that Jane Roe wanted to have an abortion, but she never had the abortion. She gave the child up for adoption. And most likely she was, coerced into doing it. And, she was coerced into doing it. All right. They said that she was a lesbian at one point. So she was this, but now and then later on in life, she became a born again Christian and literally renounced the whole thing. So what are these women really talking about? Or what are we talking about? Are we talking about women's rights? Or are we just talking about the right to kill something?
Protesters marched through Atlanta within 24 hours of that leaked political report. Lawmakers and Supreme Court officials have started making some moves here as well.
Look, I'm sorry. Your body, your choice. Well, guess what? You need to choose to put the damn fork down. Okay? That's what you need to choose. That's the next choice you need to make. because your body is not good.
Supreme Court officials have started making some moves here as well. Here's
And like I said, and like I said, I'm not being rude. Okay, I'm making it a bit comical, yes, but look, okay, these women, all right, there's no men impregnating these women. Okay, they're not. They're absolutely. There's no. I'm sorry, but like, come on, like really. These women look like they have to beg a man to even have lunch with them, let alone lay with them. All right, and like I said, I'm not being rude here. I'm not trying to bully or whatever, or body positivity, whatever. Like, I don't see it. All right, because the real attractive, in shape, good looking women, they're out there having babies. And they're out there with men, married to men that they want to have that babies they want to have. So I don't know where these women are coming from. But let me tell you something. If I was a betting man, I bet most of your aggressive protesters in this whole thing, they're not even having sex with men. And probably never been pregnant a day in their life. But let's continue.
as well. Here's what you need to know. Senate Democrats have taken the first step to consider a bill that would guarantee legal abortions nationwide. But the measure might not have the 60 votes needed to pass. President Biden called the leaked decision a radical move by conservative justices. He says it calls into question more rights guaranteed by other Supreme Court decisions, including same-sex marriage.
The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts Jr., has ordered an investigation to see who leaked this draft in the first place. Meanwhile, some Republicans say whoever the leaker is should be punished. We now know the draft is real, but the Supreme Court says it does not represent the court's final decision. So many people want to know what will happen here in Georgia if Roe v. Wade is overturned.
Karis Belger is breaking that down for us. Karis, the rules around abortion would change quickly here.
Yes, and we heard from two legal experts about this. They say if the final decision from the Supreme Court is the same or similar to what's in this leaked draft, we could quickly see a decision in terms of Georgia's fetal heartbeat law. Just to quickly break that down for you, the law would make abortion illegal.
And look at these damn simps. I meant to say that in another video I saw of these men that are like latching on. These guys are simps. All right, these men that are just holding up a sign so that way they can get close to that girl and well, Chris, if you like me, like that, then maybe you need to support my cause. I just need you to smile and hold up this banner, and then maybe I will allow you to sleep in the same bed as me with our clothes on. Okay? With our clothes on.
Illegal after a heartbeat is detected. That's typically around 6 weeks. Georgia State law professor Anthony Michael Christ explains up until now, the state hasn't been able to enforce this law because it explains up until 6 weeks. The law would make abortion illegal after a heartbeat is detected. That's typically around 6 weeks. Georgia State law professor Anthony
Well, hey, that makes sense because they was able to charge that guy in Philly with murder well after 10 weeks. All right? That woman that he murdered and she was pregnant, they charged him. She was only about 13 weeks pregnant. And they charged him with murder. So like I said, what does that say for you women that's out there doing it? What does that say for you women that are doing it a month in? Oh, I'm sorry, not a month in. 6 months in. Like I'm gonna let this play out. I'm gonna get into it.
Explains up until now, the state hasn't been able to enforce this law because it's been tied up in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. And the court decided to wait for a decision on this until the Supreme Court makes a final ruling in a similar case out of Mississippi, which Christ says could come soon.
You would see fairly rapidly, right, counting in a matter of hours and not days, before the federal courts would let Georgia enforce its anti-abortion laws. I think that's a foregone conclusion if that's what happens in the Supreme Court, right?
One of the parties that's legally challenging this fetal heartbeat law is the ACLU. We did hear from a lawyer from the Georgia chapter of the ACLU. He said that he may appeal to the court and ask them to continue to block Georgia's law depending on the decision that comes from the Supreme Court. I'll have more on that later on this morning.
Okay. More court maneuvering could be ahead.
Yep. So, and I'm not done yet. I'm not done. Because here is the next thing. Here is PA. Here's Pennsylvania. See, like I said, I do my due diligence. Now, obviously, this is Yahoo News, but I really don't take Yahoo seriously. But it did stick out to me, and I'm really not surprised that they went down this road. But let's check it out. With Roe v. Wade in question, bill could make fathers liable for unwanted pregnancies in PA. Uh-oh. Like I said, you better start buying your Trojan caps. Men who are pregnant women, now this just got done, this was today. And this was Cinco de Mayo. So all you men out there is getting drunk right now, man, don't do it. Don't do it. Strap up. So I'll say it again. Men who impregnate women should be held financially liable for not taking precautions to prevent an unwanted pregnancy or for abandoning their responsibilities during the course of a pregnancy, according to 2 Pennsylvania Democratic lawmakers. Wow. So what that says right there in that first sentence means that this will free all women in the state of PA of any responsibility if this were to get overturned, right? Because see, that's what they do. One side makes a move, the other side makes another move. So, men, you need to pay attention to this. That's why I kept this for last. Whoever listened to this whole video up until the end, this was the treat. This was the treat. All right, let's continue on. State Reps Emily Kincaid, Allegheny County, and Christopher Robb, Philadelphia County, submitted a legislative memorandum Wednesday to establish a civil offense for wrongful conception. Really? Wrongful conception? All right, I'm gonna keep all my comments to the end. In direct response to a leaked draft U.S. Supreme Court decision that would overturn Roe v. Wade in the landmark 1973 case that guaranteed a woman's right to have an abortion. See, and that's just what it is. Because like I said, no, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to keep going. It is unfair and unjust for one person to bear the weight of a situation in which to where involved. The memorandum says this bill will place a portion of the burden those who conceive are expected to handle onto the other party involved in conception by requiring financial payment from the impregnator involved. We must begin by breaking down societal iniquities like this if we hope to provide a safe and fair commonwealth for us all. Yeah, and you see how they got these young girls, they got the young girls in here. See how it flips? Because, see, they know who's out here having sex. Okay? It's the young people between 13 and 21. All right? They're the ones out here. They're the ones out here having the sex. All right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because this right here, this is going to be the catalyst. This will be the catalyst of the next generation and a generation after that. Because see now, and like I said, I told myself I was going to wait to say what I really think about all this. I believe that this could be a way to either, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, and women will have to start being more responsible, and they can't get an abortion nationally or in certain states, and just it can't do it, then men, especially in PA, what I just read, men in PA, especially Philadelphia, you need to be more careful what woman you're hooking up with. Because see, this is where your average modern day female that believes in stuff like this is where she makes bank. Because she can easily go to whatever. If this gets passed, all right, if this gets passed, that young woman that you lay down with, and maybe 3-4 other guys lay down with, she can go and name all 4 of you guys, and all 4 of you guys gotta pay up. And you know what? It may not even be none of you. Okay? I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna end it with this because see, I know I had to go in on this. Because see, I see what's happening here. All right? And this could be, like I said, and what I was going to say in the beginning, I'm saying it now. What this could possibly be, this could be a ploy from the Democratic Party and people from the Republican Party that's most likely working together to bring this country down. What this could possibly be, this could be an inside coup to the complete destruction of the nuclear family and the poor, impoverished neighborhoods of this country. I'm gonna tell you why. Because see, when you're poor and you're in poverty, there's only but so many things you can do. You don't have any money, you don't have any power, you have little to no resources, okay? And you have less education than that. So most poor people, they have a lot of sex. All right? That's just what it is. They have a lot of sex. They have a lot of unprotected sex. So this could mean that they're just going to flood these neighborhoods, these poor, impoverished neighborhoods, with babies that couldn't get aborted due to the overturn of Roe v. Wade. And they still have up and coming potential criminals to put in the criminal system. Okay? Because see, in poor, impoverished areas of this country, that's all that's there. It's criminality, high sexual activity. Okay? Because this is what happens. And I'm being real here. Okay, this is the tune-up show. I'm saying B. I look at it from all angles. And if you're not willing to do that as a human being, then what the hell are you on this earth for? You need to look, listen, and shut up. Especially when someone's talking about something that you have no idea what you're talking about. This didn't take me long to put together. Actually, this video is longer than the research that I did to put it all together. That's how you know information is out there. Are you willing to go with it? Are you willing to look into it? Or are you going to sit back and be spoon-fed? Because see, this is going to affect not only the economy, but it's going to affect men trying to find wives. Because see, now, if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, women, they have more responsibility now. You can't like, you either going to run the condoms or run the birth control. Okay? Now, most states, they're saying, I already know PA, look, PA already got into it. But most of your underbelly states and your southern states and some of your Midwestern states, they're going to run with it. But I already know Democratic states, they're like, no, we're still going to keep it. And actually, we're going to throw more on top of it. We're going to make the man responsible. So, men, this is this is my last thing I'm going to say. And I'm going to end it right here. You better figure out who you're with and what you want with them. Because I guarantee you this. Oh, man. I guarantee you this, man. It's about to go down. So I think a lot of men need to learn some sexual discipline. That's the tune-up show. I'm Sam B. And if you don't agree with me, if you want to keep, man, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. This thing's going to be 50 minutes long. Put it in the comments if you don't agree with what's going on. This is the whole show. I have to do it. It has to be done. I have to talk about it. It has to be done. So tune in. Tune up. I'm out of here. Peace.